I am Andi the Knittress, and this is my channel on the internet where I like to talk about yarn. You can find me on the internet most places as Andi the Knittress, and also TheKnottyKnittress for my business, as well as TheKnottyKnittress.com. Thanks for coming to check me out. It has been a little bit, but I have been super busy, and I have an entire tote worth of stuff to show you what that busy was. So let's just get right into it. I don't have, oh, let's go with what I'm wearing. So this is the Carolina Waves shawl knit in, there was a Savannah fade set. I did not knit this. My former boss Kelly knit this, and I was gifted it when our store closed, and I love it. It matches wonderfully with my all pink outfit. I have this fuzzy pink sweater on that I did not make. I purchased this probably, I don't know where, and I've had it for years, and it's one of my favorites because it's just a very texturally soft sweater. Yeah, so I love this shawl because I don't think I've ever knit anything like all pink, and so this is a perfect piece for my wardrobe. I would take it off and show you, but my microphone's attached, so I don't want to do that. So I have sort of an FO to show you guys. Let me move this out of the way. So I have, we have a dog, and her name is Artemis, and she sleeps on our bed. Well, our comforter is a very light colored comforter, and dogs aren't always like the cleanliest, and I didn't want it to get damaged. So we have this cotton blanket that we put on the bed, and it saves my comforter from being stained or anything like that from the dog, because she sleeps on top of the blanket. Well, occasionally it gets holes in it like this, and I have patched them before. Usually whenever I toss it in the wash, if I feel like it, I will decide to patch a hole. Well, there had gotten to be a really big hole in it, and this is a woven 100% cotton. So it's kind of nice because if a hole gets in it, it's not like it's going to run because it's not knit. It is woven. So just whenever I feel like it, I will weave a little patch. Well, last night I noticed that when it was coming out of the wash, that there was a really massive hole. So I wove this big giant 3-section patch here to cover it up out of some fun bright colored yarn. And yes, these are wool yarns and they will felt, and I don't mind that because then it's a little sturdier, and I will be happy with that spot. So as you can see, I have a few more holes that I still have to take care of. I just didn't feel like it. I did the big one last night, and so that's an FO. Now to weave this patch, I will see if I can find the link for the one that I got, but let me show you here. It's kind of like a Speedweave. It's not like the Speedweave brand, but it's called, well, it was listed as small loom Speedweave. And this one has 42 hooks, but it's massive. So I like it because it can fix those big holes that happen on my blanket. I do in the future probably want to get a small one, but I haven't really had to darn anything or weave a patch. Sorry for the crinkles. But let me pull it out here. So it comes with a couple of rubber bands. There's some instructions. I don't like the instructions that it comes with because you can see here that they want you to weave little strands and have big long tails. I did not do that. What I did was there was a video that Corner of Craft had put out on her little one to show how to put like how to start for darning a sock, and I essentially did the same thing. So I cut a really long piece of yarn, and then I just pulled it through and left a tail, you know, so big, and then I would just go up, hook it on a loop, come back down, go through part of the weaving, go back up, come back down, and so I'd be pulling this length of yarn through the blanket each time, which didn't really bother me. Oh my gosh, I've got hair. Okay. It didn't really bother me to do that, and I like the way that it worked out better. So it comes with some rubber bands, and it comes with this big wooden circle, and it has a groove in there for the rubber band to sit in, and then it also has the actual loom part. So then you put the rubber band around the back of the loom here, and then you stretch. Of course, this circle would end up going in your fabric, and you put the loom in the little groove, and then you stretch the rubber band around the fabric, so the fabric will be between the wood and the rubber band, and then you put all of these in one direction or so. And what I usually do is I try to stand them all up. It doesn't really work, and then as I loop them, I flip them the opposite direction, and then I'll loop it and flip it, loop the yarn and flip it, etc. And it comes with a latch hook to where you could reach across and pull the yarn through with the latch hook. And it also comes with a really long darning needle, which is what I used. And what I do is I will thread the yarn through the eye of the darning needle, and I go backwards through the loops with the darning needle, because I found that the other end was a little too sharp. I use that when I'm, you know, setting up or warping this loom, but in order to weave across, this is too sharp, and I found that it was splitting the yarn. But when I went with the eye through, it did not split the yarn, and then I would use the long needle to kind of tamp down that row, and then you know, switch your rows the other way, and it kind of helps adjust the stitches there. And really the only spot you can go through each row is kind of real close to the top here, but it's just something that I enjoy doing. I think I spent probably 2 hours fixing that blanket last night. It's family, there's interruptions. I don't remember what I was saying, but it's like it's not Speedweave brand, it's a Speedweave loom. They come in a lot of different sizes. I will really try to link it down below if that link that I got this from is still there. I got this on Amazon sometime last year, I think, so I might not be able to find the exact one, but it's a good thing to have if you need to weave a big patch. I think that it would be cool. Eventually that blanket is going to have, like, it's going to be a big giant patch, I presume, because, you know, it's essentially the dog blanket. So that's like the only FO I have. I have not even really made anything for the shop, knitting wise. Been busy helping Bobby dye yarn. We'll get into that later. So let's show you my whips. I have been working on my Recalibrate the most, because on Sundays I do a Zoom and I sit and I chat with some of you, and this is what I have been working on. I really do enjoy my Zoom chats. If you are interested in sitting and knitting or crocheting or even just reading, coloring, I don't know. Well, I don't think you could read in Zoom, but anyway, just whatever you want to come join in on the conversation. Check out my Instagram. That is where I will have all of the information for it. And if you, for some reason, are not on Instagram, you can send me a message either through my email or contact me through my website, send me a message on Ravelry, you know, put a plane with a banner in the sky and say, hey, I want to join in your Zoom. And I will figure out how to get you that information. So this is the Recalibrate by Shana Cohen, and I am almost done with this side here. I don't know if it's the left or the right side. I'd have to look at the pattern and see which one it asked me to do first, but I am almost done. I have to get 46 garter bumps in this section, and I do believe, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40. So I have 6 more garter bumps left to do, which is 12 rows before I will go on to the next step. I am in love with this pattern. It's a really nice, I'm just knitting. It's all garter stitch. It's really easy to just knit on this and chat with people. I usually get, I only knit on this on Sundays, honestly, because I just don't have time to knit during the week. So you can see here with all my little progress keepers about how much I get done each Sunday while we're knitting and chatting. So it's about two rows, so one of each color, just about. So yeah, this is Pretty Twisted Yarns on her old BFL base. I don't know if she still has it. It was called Endure. It's a BFL nylon. It's my very favorite. I think her new BFL base is 100% BFL. And it is not this one anymore. It is in leftover yarn from my Beetlejuice sweater. This is a self-striping here. It's called There's a Beetle in My Juice, and then we have Purple Rain and Acid Trip here, and later on I will have Don't Fear the Reaper on the other side. I think what I'm going to do is on the side panel I'm going to repeat the self-striping, and then on this other side of the sweater I think I'm going to do a 3-stripe sequence if I can figure it out. So what I'll do is I'll do black, and then I'll do green, and then black, and then purple, and then black, and then green, and black, and purple, and so on and so forth, just to give it a different look on the other side. Also because I don't have enough of these two to duplicate the other side. And I don't want to buy any more. There's enough yarn here. I just have to do some yarn management and figure out how I will do that. And I think that's the plan going forward. So this is a really fun project that I am working on, and it lives in my Beetlejuice bag that I got from Cinematic Skeins, Tammy over at Cinematic Skeins. She gifted this bag to me. It's one of my favorite bags. It's a nice big size bag for a sweater project. So that again is the Recalibrate by Shana Cohen. And then that is right now with my Clear Our Whips Mal that we have. I have 18 whips. And I told you all that I was going to try very, very hard not to cast anything on. And I did try very, very hard. but how many of you knew that I was going to cast something on? Raise your hand if you knew that was going to happen. Because I knew it would. Now, mind you, I haven't cast anything on since November. So that's a long stretch for me. I love casting on. There's a whole ritual to it, at least for me. So, you know, I find the project and it infatuates me, and I just have to figure out what yarn I would make it in, and then I get the pattern and I usually print them out, and then I put them in a little clear sleeve because that's what I like to do. Sometimes I've been putting them on my knit companion. It just depends on what kind of project it is, and if it's kind of easy, I don't really print it out, but if it's a little more difficult in math and stuff, I like to have the paper physical copy around for me to be able to put notes on, and just, I don't know, sometimes the physical page helps me out. So then I'll pick out which project bag I'm gonna use, and I put together a little notions set and like stitch markers and progress keepers. If I need, you know, if it's a sweater, I'll usually put some stitch holder cord in the little notions pouch. There's always a cute pair of scissors because I love to collect embroidery sewing scissors, and I have lots of them. Yeah, so it's like a whole thing for me. It just brings me joy to prep for a project and then to cast on. So that in itself, that happiness, sometimes I just need that, and I really still am going to work on my whips, but when this pattern came across my Instagram feed, I thought, oh, that's really cute, the initial picture that was on there. But then when I swiped over to look at the other pictures, there was one, and I was just like, I have to cast that on right now. So it is the Stumble Dress by Lydia Morrow, and I think her Instagram handle is What Lydia Made, and this is it. So this picture, I thought initially that this was really cute, and I was like, oh, that's a cute dress. But then she had another option, and I will pop in a picture here, and you guys know I love a scrappy dress. I love a scrappy everything, and I'm like, I need to cast that on. I have one of those like 12 by 12 bin drawers full of minis, and there's just like a rainbow of color there, and I just started picking out colors, and I'm like, yeah, I'm making this. I am making this. I am super happy so far with what I've got picked out. I will pop in a picture. It's a messy craft desk picture of all of my colors in a row, but it's the only way I could really do it. So I started doing my little ritual for casting on. So this obviously does not count towards my clear our whips. So I still have 18 whips to clear from last year or older. And then this is just a new whip this year. I mean, I made it all the way to March. I haven't cast on anything since November, so I'm proud of myself. But yeah, I really like this pattern. I'm gonna flash real quick. There's a chart that's got all of the rows on there. It's also written out, but I just really like this chart because she's got little check boxes. Like, it's really cool. So you can just check off each row or increase that you did as you go to make sure that you didn't miss one. There is a stitch count. Sorry for that interruption. So yeah, there's a stitch count for each row. that you need to do, and it's really laid out nicely. There are short rows, there are bust darts, and this pattern is measured at your high bust, which is just under your armpits, not your full bust, which I like because in my experience, with knitting sweaters, sometimes I feel like that is where the pattern was designed to take your measurement, and then when I knit out the full bust size, my sweater usually ends up a little big, even if I'm on gauge. So I really think, and I know a couple people have talked about this before, I like that she clarifies that when you're measuring for this sweater and you're picking out your size, it is the high bust measurement, which is just under your armpits, and not your full bust measurement. And I think that is going to make for a really well-fitting garment. I'm excited. I'm going to try to figure out how to put pockets in this. So let me show you. It's living in my happy little yarns bag, the mushroom booties, and so far I have really just done the collar and the short rows. I just got past this collar and the short rows, and I like this collar. It is a folded collar, so you provisionally cast on, and it has twisted rib, so it's a really nice look, and this is what I've got. So I finished the collar, and I have done, you can see I've done the short rows, and something different about this pattern too that I don't know if I like or I don't like yet, because it's a little weird. For my size, I've had to do increases on every row until I get to like a certain part. I'm getting ready to be on the where I get to knit around in between, so I don't necessarily love how that looks there, because you can see that gap right there. There wasn't a rest row in between the increases, the make one lefts and make one rights, and so it's just a little gappy there. But after this point, I will not be doing that anymore. But it's kind of neat because there's like a section of 4 stitches in between your increases, so it's going to make a nice defined raglan line. So I tried to, if you can see in that picture that I had posted, put my colors in order the best I could with, I would go variegated and then solid and variegated and solid. And this one is knitting out a little more solid than I was liking, because the next color is a solid color. But it'll be fine. And then the next one will be variegated. Oops, I got. And so I'm going to try to do that the whole way across sweater. I think I dropped a yarn. Oh, no, the next color is this color. Sorry. I'm like, wait, that is out of order. The next one is this color. And this one is a solid, and I've got yarns, all kinds of minis in here. I've got some Driftwood Farms in here. There's some Knitted Wit. I've got 100 Ravens. I have some Blackbird Sycamore. I think there's a Bumble Acre. I think there's some Teal Torch Knits in here. Like, it's just, I went through my mini drawer and I picked out a rainbow. Majority of them do happen to be Driftwood Farms, because I had 2 advents for 2 years in a row from Driftwood Farms that I had never used yet, and I decided that just because they were an Advent, they didn't have to live together. So a majority of this is going to be that. And then I had 100 Ravens. I bought one of their mini sets, and then I also had a pack from Row One Yarns mini. So yeah, I'm super excited about this cast on. It just brought me all the joy that I needed it to. So that is it really for my whips. I haven't really been working on anything else. Yeah. Well, I have been working on lots of things, but nothing like no actual knitting. So next up, I'm going to announce the winner for the first quarter drawing that I did for FOs. So if you had an FO and you either shared it on the Ravelry group or tagged the hashtag on Instagram, every time I go through the hashtag and I share them to my stories, and you can see that there is a highlight that has all of the shares there, whether they're whips or FOs, and it's all there. And so I would put it in a note and write it down for the FOs. And so I had a whole list, and there were 27 entries that I had, and I asked the lady in my phone to pick a number, and it was number 5. And so you can see, I will pop here a picture of the list, and the winner is a Waning Gibbous Creations, which is my friend Amber, and you won the first quarter prize. And she had a lot of whips that she had entered, or FOs that she had finished. I think her name was on there a few times. So she is the winner of this gorgeous skein by Hearing Colors Dyeworks and this awesome tote bag. So Amber, send me a message and we'll make arrangements to get you your prize. All right. Oh, I do have one acquisition. I actually have 2 acquisitions. I belong to the Cerulean Orchid Sticker of the Month Club. It's just a cute little surprise that comes to me every month. I know it's not technically a surprise because I pay for it, but I always forget about it. It's $3 a month, and I get a fun little yarn-related sticker. And this month's sticker is a cute platypus with some blue yarn. I just think it's adorable. And then the other thing that I got is sort of yarn related, I like to think. So I do the farmer's market here, and usually I end up right next door to a lady, her name is Misty, and she is from Ranch Suds. And I don't remember if I showed this last time, but I'm showing it again if I did. Sorry if not, whatever. But I just am in love with this lotion bar. You can find her on Facebook under Ranch Suds. But she does all kinds of things. She does laundry soap and bath bombs and lotion bars, and she makes a dog soap that my dog, it helps with her like itchy skin. And this smells like Love Spell. I feel like maybe I told you guys about it, but I also can't remember if I was just talking about it on a Zoom call. So sorry if it's repeated. Hashtag not sorry. Go check her out. They smell so nice. I really like them, and I think it's knitting related because I keep them in my knitting bag when my hands get dried out, and then I knit, and then my project smells lovely. And this is just like shea butter, olive oil, beeswax, and then fragrance. So I think that those are all nice things, and it's only like $6, and it's a decent size like tin. Now the lotion bar isn't, that big, but it's a decent sized lotion bar. and it smells lovely. So those are my only acquisitions that I got. Every other thing I have to show you is for the Naughty Nitrous. I guess I could do some live stuff first in case you don't want to see the yarn. Life has been pretty busy lately. We were prepping to put all of our yarn in to the local, not all of our yarn, a set of yarn into the local yarn shop downtown. It's called Little Hawk Yarns. I told you guys about that last time. And so then Bobby has been super busy trying to dye through the rest of the yarn that we had in our cupboard so that we could get that all dyed up and then we could order some new yarn. Because unlike me and casting on projects, he's been dyeing through what he has and then he will order more yarn. So there are lots and lots of new yarns now into the shop, but most of them are one of a kinds because this yarn that he dyed up, he only had like 2 bags of each of the kinds of yarn. So that's 10 skeins or so of each style that's in there. And a lot of them we won't be using again. This yarn is some yarn that we got from a local friend who used to dye yarn. So some of it is actually discontinued and no longer able to get. But it was nice for him to see how different fibers dyed up. So that's mostly been our life. I've been really enjoying, I'll say it again, chatting with everybody on Sundays for Zoom. It's just, and now it's most Sundays. There's the second Sunday of the month that I cannot do because I have a local knit group that day. But I've just been enjoying that. I've been working on lots of things, and majority of this time I've been trying to figure out how to do my taxes, which is probably easy for most people, but this is my first year with my own business, and so it was a little bit of stress on me that I had never had before. And I am a person where if I've never done something before, I overthink it, I overstress about it until it's done. And once it's done, I'm like, okay, I've done that. I could do it again and it's not that bad. But the first time I do things, I almost have anxiety over it until, I'm finished. I feel like I'm going to fail. That is just it's a me problem. I'm aware of it. I know this about myself. And so doing my taxes for last year was like a big hurdle, and I did them, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as bad as I was making it out to be, but I get worked up like that. I'm human. I have, flaws, several of them, and I'm aware of most of them. But that and setting up for the yarn shop and getting all this yarn dyed has just been a really big stressor on me. So I didn't film as frequently as I wanted to because I like to do every other week, but I just didn't. And that's okay because I'm here now and you guys get to see me now. But I'm excited for that and the year to come. I've got a couple of bigger markets that we're gonna do, like I guess they're events, not markets. Like there's a lavender festival that's here. Hopefully I'll get into that one. Yeah, so that has been most of our life. My son, my oldest son, has been he's trying to finish up his senior year. He didn't finish last year, so he's got some credits to make up this year. And with his autism, I don't know if he would want me to share this. I'm just proud of him. He's doing really well with, we're doing an at-home virtual credit retrieval thing, and we just got his report card, and this is the first time in his life. Yeah, this is the first time ever he had all A's and B's on his report card. And I'm just really, really proud of him. And so yeah, so he's that's been a little different with my schedule because I'm not used to him being home all the time because he would go to school. So yeah, life has been a little bit different lately, but it's been rewarding. It's been super rewarding, and I'm excited. So if you're still here and you want to know about the shop, I've got so much stuff for the shop to show you. We've got lots of new stuff. I got to have some fun leftover minis, so that's awesome. So this is sort of like an acquisition because these ones I can't sell because the yardage and grammage is just not there for retail. A lot of them are half skeins and there's lots of knots in some of these. So I try really hard if I can to make sure that especially when it's a mini, that there's no knots in it. Sometimes they get past me. So if you get a mini from us and it has a knot, I apologize. I really can't control what comes from the fiber companies. But this is a sneak peek of what I'm getting ready to show you. Some of this colors, that's where that's come from. All right. So first off, let's tell you guys that there is a sale right now at the TheKnottyKnittress for lonely skeins. So if there is a colorway where there is only one left, it is 10% off. I have to grab this here. Hopefully I don't drop anything. So I have this whole bin. These are all lonely skeins. So all of these are 10% off. So we've got some former sock blanks here, dyed in the blank. We've got one set of Funky Merman left. We've got some Date Night and Sweetie. We've got Trick or Treat. There's all kinds of stuff here. If it's a single lonely person, it is now 10% off. I want to get all of these single skeins out of our inventory. So all of these are 10% off. So go check that out. There is a banner at the top of the page that you can click shop here and it'll show you all of the lines that have single skeins. I tried to put all of the lonely skeins at the top of the drop down bar. So for instance, this line is Lamolo Falls. It's going to link you to the Lamolo Falls line, but I put these two at the top of the page so the first two listings will have single, and my website will show you when you click a color and you drop down, it'll tell you how many is left if there are less than 10. And so only the single skeins are 10% off. Even if you go to Lamolo Falls and then you see Buttermint there, there's more than one of those left. That one is not on sale. Just these. There's no coupon code needed. I have put them all in a list for them to automatically take 10% off for you guys. So head on over to there, buy some single skeins, and help me clear them out of my inventory. So that is a big chunk of what I've been doing because I had to go through and manually do that coupon. I'm gonna carefully try to get this up here without knocking anything. All right, so next up, I have made some more project bags. So I think I showed you guys these celestial ones last time, and this bumblebee one. I think that you guys have seen those before. But here's a couple of new ones. We've got this cool little crackle print material, and I have that in a green as well as a blue. And then we've got this really cool one. It's like celestial. Oh, my tongue is really tied today. I cannot talk properly. It's got constellations, and like there's a toad and a raven and a tarot card, and so that one's really cool. We've got this fun one with snacks on it. And then these two are my favorite because this white fabric that I put on the inside glows in the dark. So we've got this one with spiders on it, and the one with the cats, because this is such a light fabric with where the batik cats are, when this glows in the dark, the cats look like they glow in the dark. So those two are fun. I really like those. It was hard for me not to keep one of these, but you all know how many project bags I have, for real. So those are fun. I've got all of those are listed in the shop and ready to go. We've got some new stuff we've been trying out with the shop, and so far it's been a little bit of a fail, but eventually you guys can maybe look for these. So we came across a pattern that we had to pay for the 3D printer, and we are allowed to resell them, but not yet. But soon we're going to have little skull yarn balls. Now these are small. We print them small to test it out. Our printer is being finicky. We've had it for a year. We've got to replace some parts. So it's being a little weird. It's got some steps there on the top of this one, and then the bottom of that is a really horrible fail. So then we tried, okay, let's print it upside down so that this would be smooth, and that worked. But then the inside bottom failed because the supports we chose were not enough. But eventually we might have these. And then we came across this other pattern that was like a little cauldron yarn bowl. Now these are all small because we print them small to see where it's going to fail because of parts that overhang and such, and so where we need to add support maybe. But our printer is just being a butthead, and it completely failed, so this one didn't even finish. So we're having a hard time with that. But before it started acting up, we were able to get some cool things printed out. We've got some new yarn bowls that are in the shop, and I will show you here precariously, maybe. We've got 3 sizes. So we have a large, a medium, and a small. Now the small one is good for 50 grams, and the medium one is good for 100 grams. And I would reckon to say that this would hold 300 grams because I think I had a 200 gram skein in here in the picture that's on the website, and there was still room. So, I mean, it's close to the size of my head. So you can check out those. These are awesome. These all printed out beautifully. I really love this watermelon color. It's kind of translucent, so you can see the supports that are on the inside, like the infill. And then we've got some new filaments coming, so once we get everything situated, we'll have some other fun stuff later on. So check those out. And see, this is when it started to fail, because we were printing a large one and it was like, no, it gave up. So what I did was I took, I have a wood burner, and I just sealed the edge of this, and now I have a little dish for my stitch markers and progress keepers or my earrings or whatever I want to use it for. So it's not always easy. If you're looking to get into the 3D printing hobby, there's a lot of like tweaking and like stuff for the machines. There's a whole lot that goes into it. So I've added that to Bobby's plate. He enjoys it though. He really does. So there's those. Let's see if I can get these out of the way because I have lots and lots of yarn to show you guys. It's like precariously balanced. Oh, we've got some new pom-poms. I wanted to show you guys the new Pom Pom Colors. So I was joking with Scarlett last night, and I said I totally want to make pom-pom rings a thing. Like, it could totally be a trend. Like, just cute little ring pom-poms. No, I'm just kidding. But we've got some new pom-pom colors. I think the purple was there, but we've got yellow, and we've got like an aqua and a hot pink and blue. We also have, I think we have red. Oh, yep. So we've got red. And then of course we've got my lovely lime green. And then we've got orange. And I think I'm gonna mark these black ones down. I'm not happy with this fur. This fur came from a different source than all of these. These are gorgeous, long line, floofy, bright, giant pom-poms. So I'm gonna see if I can source some black long line. This one I don't like the black, so I think I'm gonna be marking those black ones down. So yeah, new pom-pom colors, and all of our pom-poms come with a pom-pom button. So and that one is coming off, but you know, you put the pom-pom button on the inside of the hat, you bring the little elastic through the top of your hat, and then you weave it through the pom-pom button, and then it makes it very easy to remove. You then just wrap the elastic around the button once it's woven through, and it's very easy to take off and launder your hat and then put back on. So yeah, so you could see here how we just put it through, and then you would wrap it around the button on the inside of the hat, and then it's secure, and you have a floofy, gorgeous little pom-pom. We got some new pins in the shop. These are acrylic pins with a rubber back, and I just think they're super vibrant and very pretty. And then I have restocked ball socks for the first time in a very long time. We have lots and lots of ball socks. So look for those in all of these fun colors. And next we have some awesome yarns. So as I said, Bobby has been going through and dyeing up the rest of what we've got in our closet, and he's been a busy guy, and he has come up with some gorgeous colors. I'm going to try and get these all set out here so I can show you. So this is one of the first colors that he dyed, and it's just, I love this color. I love this. This is the color I used, as you can see, to weave the patch on my blanket, because I pulled a skein out for myself and I made some mittens out of it. Oh, those are an FO. I'll have to see if I can pop in a picture of them. And so I had a little bit left over, and I used that to weave the patch on that blanket. So this is, all of these yarns that I'm showing you here are under the OOAK, one of a kind, because these yarns are not repeatable for us. This particular one is 100% superwash merino, 385 yards, 115 grams. So this is a sport weight. And then next up we have this gorgeous array of color, which is like, is this the same one? Yes. So what I find interesting is these were all dyed with the same colors. So this one here is a bamboo blend, so it looks different than these guys. And let's see, the orange on this one is hiding behind the label. So you can see how that looks. And now when you go to the one of a kind, you can look at the image and it will show you a picture of the label to give you the content. That is, when you do the drop down bar and you pick it, it'll show you the picture of the content so you can see which one you're getting. So there's a couple of these bamboo in there. There is a few of these cellulose, which is linen and flax, and then mohair and nylon, which this yarn in particular, I was very skeptical of this yarn. It didn't feel nice in the bare skein, and I probably said out loud, and maybe to some of my friends, who would ever knit with that? It it feels gross. I don't like it. Once it was dyed and then dried and stuff, it got a lot softer. So I was like, okay. And I went ahead and did a little swatch, a little crochet swatch with it to see, you know, what it would do and how it would feel. And so I just, you know, cast in a little shawl. There's no pattern for this. I just was doing stitches to see how it would behave. And I gotta say, it changed my mind. If you want like a super lightweight shawl, I think that once this is blocked, the linen will soften up a whole bunch, and it's just like light and airy. So I was pleasantly surprised, I have to say, with how that behaved. So yeah, we've got a couple of colors that he dyed on this linen flax mohair, and they are 50-gram skeins. And then we have some minis. Now the minis, when you see the mini sets in there, they all have different content because we had minis of different things. Now this one is a superwash merino set of minis. So there's about 36 yards to 20 grams in each of those. So that puts this at a worsted weight mini set of colors. And then we've got this here, which is like a fingering / sport weight. So this one here is like a fingering / sport weight. There's this is 100% merino, non-superwash. There's 420 yards to 115 grams. So there's that color, which I like these colors together. None of these have names. I don't know if these colorways will be coming back. But you know, we'll see. I know one color that is definitely coming back, and that's going to be this green. It's very swampy, and I love it. And I think definitely this one will be coming back. So we've got these here, this lovely green. We've got a set of minis. And this one is worsted weight. I just look at that. It's gorgeous. We've got this one is merino and linen flax. So you can see that the linen flax doesn't take the dye with the way that we dye yarn. So it gives it like a pop of white. It's kind of opposite of a zebra yarn where you get that black stripe, and it just adds some interesting something interesting visually to this yarn. So I think that that's really cool. And then of course we've got some more of that mohair linen flax, and so you can see in here like the linen flax is the white, and then the mohair is what takes all of the color. And then we have this lovely color. I think this one ended up being Bobby's favorite. And it's just so pretty. It kind of gives like Mike and Sully vibes. Because you've got the purple and the aqua, and then you've got the like that limey green. And so it kind of gives off Mike and Sully or Monsters Inc. sort of vibes. This color might come back regularly. We might re-dye it on fingering weight, but see how where the blue and the purple blend together, it kind of just looks just like Sully. I don't know. It's really fun. So we've got a few of those in there, and then we've got some purples that he did. So we've got some minis in the purple, and then some mohair flax, and then the merino cotton. Now these minis are a BFL, 100% BFL, and they're like a DK weight. So just be sure if you're looking at these to take a look at the image. When you click the drop down and you select one, the image will have the information with the yardage and such for you, because the way I listed it, it was just easier to do that way because there's so many different types. So look at the image for the content when you're purchasing. And then the last color I have to show you today is this gorgeous blue. And look on my Instagram for some gorgeous pinks, because that is what is coming out of the dye pans today. So we've got all these pretty blues, and we go into some light blue to dark. Now that is kind of blowing out a little bit. It makes all those blues look the same shade, and they certainly are not. They're more, you know, like this. Oh, and this one is this is more of like a aqua blue, like with a hint of green to it, and it's not as blue as you're seeing on that screen. Lots of yarn. Please go buy some. Tell your friends to buy some. I want all these gorgeous yarns to have a good home. There's so many beautiful colors here. I really like what he's been doing lately. I cannot wait to see what he does when we order some more yarn. Like, he's got such a brilliant eye for color. And by he, I mean Bobby, my husband of Here in Colors Dyeworks. I hope that you realize that's who I'm talking about. I realized now that I didn't say that. Remember that there is a coupon code for my viewers. It is Knittress15. It will not work with the 10% off skeins, but it'll work on the rest of your order. So thank you for being here. And let me make sure I didn't forget to talk about anything. I didn't. Pom-poms. Oh yes, I did forget to talk about something because I don't have any of it over here. So there's a new section on the website called CSM Accessories. That stands for Circular Sock Machine Accessories. If you happen to have a circular sock machine, we do print out a few of the little things for them, like the half pitch clip or the CSM cam tile, as well as if you are looking for a split ring setup bonnet in any of the sizes that I can make, they are listed on the website. So yeah, I don't have any of that to show you. And then also there were some Batty Bats that are new to the shop, but most of them got purchased, so I only have a few left. But this pink lemonade one is still in the shop, and it's very, very pretty. So go check it out. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in Zoom chat and putting faces to names, because until I see a face with a name, I usually don't remember. I'll remember one or the other. Take life one stitch at a time, because that is all you can do. Bye.